What's up, guys? It's Josh here, back with another Kansas City Chiefs related video, and today I'm going to be giving out my draft grades for the 2021 Kansas City Chiefs NFL draft class. So I gave a little bit of a sneak peek in my last video about, kind of what my evaluation is going to be, and I said right off the bat, I'm really happy with this draft, and this could end up being the best draft of Brett Veach's tenure. Because there's not a single pick that I look at and say, man, I just really don't like that pick, or I don't know what to think about this pick. I like every single pick for their own reasons. Now, there are some things that I'm going to question about some picks that won't, bring the grade down a little bit. But overall, this is a really good class. But yeah, we're going to get right into it, and I'm going to give a individual grade for each player, each selection. And then I'm going to give an overall letter grade for the entire class at the end of the video. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So, of course, with the first pick of the 2021 Kansas City Chiefs NFL draft class, the Chiefs took Mizzou linebacker Nick Bolton with pick number 58. And you guys know that have been following me for a while that I'm a Mizzou fan, and because of that, I have an affinity for Nick Bolton, and, I just really like the guy, and this was a dream come true for me to see him go from my favorite college team to my favorite NFL team. But, of course, I still have to grade the pick honestly. That being said, though, I'm still going to give this pick a good grade because this was a good pick. I get it. I know a lot of fans, a lot of Chiefs fans on the other side of Kansas City that is not in Missouri, that shall not be named in my video, don't like the pick because he's from Mizzou. And I know there was just a lot of people who didn't like the pick because other Chiefs analysts were out there, saying stuff like, he's not good in coverage or he's not the best athlete. And I get that, but I think he's better in coverage than people are giving him credit for. There are just situations that you're going to have to avoid with him because he's not going to be able to stick with a tight end one-on-one all the way down the field. But, he is a good linebacker, and he can cover well and understand zone coverage in the intermediate area. So I really like the Nick Bolton pick. And the thing is, the Chiefs didn't get him for his coverage ability. They got him for his run defense and his leadership and his big hitting. Nick Bolton is a guy that will be able to get that green dot on the back of his helmet after Anthony Hitchens' days in KC are over because he's just a very smart player. And his instincts and his IQ make up for his lack of athleticism. And also, again, people talk about the lack of athleticism, but he's just a guy that if you just turn on the tape and watch this dude play football, you wouldn't be able to tell that he's, not the most athletic linebacker because he looks very athletic when he plays. And he's just a guy that, in reality, he's a good football player when you don't pay all of your attention to the underwear Olympics that is, the combine and pro days and stuff. The dude's just a good football player. And the really good thing about this pick is that I know most fans from, just talking on Twitter and stuff like that, really wanted players in this draft class that could come in and contribute immediately at positions of need. Nick Bolton is going to be able to contribute immediately. He's not a Willie Gay that, has all the athletic tools but needs to be coached up a lot. He doesn't need to be developed. I mean, this is a guy that will be able to contribute from day one just because he's that smart of a player. Andy Reid said he can play all three linebacker spots, which bodes even better for his chances of getting on the field. This is a day one impact player that will see the field for the Kansas City Chiefs, in my opinion. And for all those reasons, I'm going to give this pick an A+ because Chiefs fans are going to come to love this guy. I promise you. Having watched him for the past several years, this guy is a leader. He's going to be the Patrick Mahomes of the Mizzou defense. I can promise you that now. I'm giving this pick an A+, and I don't care what anyone has to say. All right, and then with the very next pick in the NFL draft, the Kansas City Chiefs selected Oklahoma center Creed Humphrey. And I really like Creed Humphrey, the player. I have him as the number one center in the draft. Landon Dickerson, I will admit, is the more talented player. However, I do believe that Creed Humphrey is going to be the better center because he doesn't have the same health concerns. I mean, Landon Dickerson, this guy just has not stayed healthy, and it's going to be a question whether or not he stays healthy in the NFL. Creed Humphrey, That's not a question. And Creed Humphrey, he still has very good athleticism. He's a smart player, good size. He has a wrestling background, which has taught him how to use his leverage. And, he's just a really smart player. And, this is a move that completely locked down the Kansas City Chiefs offensive line. They brought in Orlando Brown, brought in Joe Thuney, Kyle Long, LET's coming back, Lucas Niang, Mike Remmers, brought in Austin Blythe, and then you bring in Creed Humphrey, who could start at center from day one for the Kansas City Chiefs, and that's just a heck of an O-line, man, and they're protecting Patrick Mahomes. He's never going to get touched ever again, and that's just, it's amazing, the complete overhaul that, Brett Veach has done with this offensive line in just one offseason. But if I had a bad thing to say about the pick, it's that, with all the other needs on the Chiefs, did they really need Creed Humphrey? I have no doubt Creed Humphrey was most likely one of the best, if not the best player available at the Chiefs pick, which probably played a part in them selecting Creed Humphrey, and he is an A-plus player. However, you brought in Austin Blythe, who is a fine stopgap. Joe Thuney can also play center. You have multiple players on the roster that can already play center, and you have all these other needs that, just really need. There's holes that need to be filled on this team, and, the Chiefs did a good job filling the holes in this draft, don't get me wrong. But I'm just kind of giving my point of view from when the pick was first made. And it's that, did they really need center all that bad to take Creed Humphrey with their second round pick? I thought maybe they could have gotten by with Austin Blythe and, Allegretti and Thuney and kind of that as your center situation for next year. And then maybe you could have addressed center later on, or you just could have gotten someone, maybe as a UDFA, or maybe it's just someone in the later rounds or a cut candidate later on, something like that. So, and, you spent heavy resources on the interior offensive line, and I know some people aren't a fan of that value. But overall, I can't be too upset about it because, protecting Mahomes should come first, and the Chiefs did that with this pick, and you don't have to worry about it later. So Creed Humphrey is a fantastic player, but just because of that little bit of a concern for me, I'm going to give the pick an A-, and I think that's a really fair grade, and yeah, let me know what you guys think about this one, because this one's a tough grade for me, but I'm going to go ahead and give it an A-. All right, and then with the Chiefs' 4th round pick, they ended up taking Florida State defensive end Joshua Kaindoh. And Joshua Kaindoh is someone that was on the Chiefs' radar, was on my radar for the Chiefs, if that makes sense. I know of Josh Kaindoh, and the thing with Kaindoh is he was one of the top players in his class coming out of high school, was a 5-star recruit. Clearly has the talent, clearly has the physical tools. Florida State didn't help his development too much. He wasn't super productive, but he did show flashes, had a nose for the ball, was able to come up with big plays, and really flashed at times. But this move is purely an upside move. He's got high upside as a pass rusher, but this one's going to be completely on the coaches to see if they can get the best out of him, because this dude is quite the athlete. Like I said, 5-star recruit coming out of high school. So if he reaches his full potential with the Chiefs, he could be a pretty damn good NFL player, but it's a big if. So I like the pick. I don't dislike the pick at all because, you're taking a gamble on a guy that, has the physical tools. He just needs the coaching. And, for me, that is enough upside to give this pick a C+. I'm going to give it a C+ because, again, I like the pick. I like the potential player, the idea of the player that Kaindoh could become, but we just don't know. So it's a gamble, but it's absolutely a gamble worth taking. So, yeah, the pick is going to get a C+ from me. All right, and then with their first 5th round pick, the Kansas City Chiefs took Duke tight end Noah Gray. And outside of the Nick Bolton pick, this might be my favorite pick of the draft class because I said it before. I was one of the first guys on Noah Gray, mocked him to the Chiefs very early in the process because I was like, this guy is kind of a Travis Kelce light. He's sneaky athletic. He's got good hands. He runs good routes, really good getting in and out of his breaks. But he's a little bit limited in what he can do. Not a great blocker. will need to work on running some of those deeper routes, and he will definitely have to add some weight to his frame. But there's a lot to like with Noah Gray. He's going to get the opportunity to learn behind Travis Kelce, which is great for any tight end. And I'm happy to see the Chiefs finally address the tight end 2 position. They traded up for this guy. So, obviously they, have a plan for him, and, they see something in him. And I'm not saying this guy is going to be Travis Kelce. That's asking too much of him. But can he be a reliable pass-catching tight end in the future? Absolutely. So I really like this pick. And he's just a guy with a lot of upside. And he's going to have some competition coming into camp. And, I know Travis Kelce is going to push him in that tight end room. And, I'm just really excited for this pick. It's got a lot of upside. This is someone that the Chiefs could legitimately a reliable weapon for Patrick Mahomes. And, so I'm going to give this pick a B+, because Noah Gray, I don't think he's ever going to be, a top 5 tight end in the NFL or anything like that. And when you draft him in the 5th round, you're not expecting to get someone like that, and I understand that. But there might have been some other players there that could have turned into something more than what Noah Gray is going to turn into. But I still like the upside with Noah Gray. And like I said, I think he could be turned into a reliable weapon for Patrick Mahomes and someone that replicates a little bit of what Travis Kelce does. And I think B+ is a nice grade for him. So, yeah, let me know what you guys think of that one in the comments as well. But I really like the Noah Gray pick. All right, then with the Chiefs' second to last NFL draft pick for 2021, they took Clemson wide receiver Cornell Powell, and I am a huge fan of this pick. We all freaked out because we wanted the Chiefs to get a wide receiver, and they finally got one in the later rounds. And, one of the reasons that I kind of had questions about the Creed Humphrey pick is because my guy, Dyami Brown, was still there for the Chiefs to select, but that's okay. Some people still may not be happy with the Chiefs waiting till the 5th round to get Cornell Powell as their wide receiver addition, but Cornell Powell is one of the best players they could have taken at the spot, and might be the best player at that spot, because, like I said in my prior video, Cornell Powell is someone that runs really good routes, has really good size, can develop into that X receiver that the Chiefs really want. Like I said, good route runner. He cooked Shaun Wade in the Ohio State game. That was from last season. Yeah, that was one of the best routes from a receiver I've ever seen. But also cooking Shaun Wade, not saying too much. I don't think a lot of people like Shaun Wade, and I'm not a big Shaun Wade fan. But that's besides the point. I really like the Cornell Powell pick. Like I said, he was buried in the wide receiver room at Clemson, but didn't complain and worked very hard. And then in his last season there, which was last year, he had 50 receptions for over 800 yards and 7 touchdowns, was super productive. Trevor Lawrence loved throwing to this guy in difficult situations. He just always found a way to get open. He's got decent speed. He ran like a sub 4.5. I really like this pick, man. I think he's going to turn into something, actually. He's better than your typical late-round wide receiver, and Clemson also produces athletes, and he is quite the athlete, too. So I really like this pick, man. Again, probably one of my favorite picks outside of the Nick Bolton selection for obvious reasons, but and also he's going to be playing with Patrick Mahomes, and that can only help you. So I love this pick, and I'm going to give it an A. And I believe it was Louis Riddick who said it on TV that this guy's going to pick up right where Sammy Watkins left off, and if that happens, then this pick is absolutely an A. In fact, it might even be an A+. And even if Cornell Powell, doesn't come close to the receiver that Sammy Watkins was, if he just stays healthy and reliable, then he could probably equate to what Sammy Watkins brought you, because Sammy Watkins was barely ever there. So yeah, I'm giving this pick an A. All right, then with the final pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the Kansas City Chiefs went with Tennessee guard Trey Smith. And like I said yesterday, this is a pick that everyone was super excited about because Trey Smith was seen as a day 1 or 2 talent that dropped all the way to the 6th because of medical problems. But this dude's an absolute grader in the run game, seen as kind of almost like a Kalichi Osemele type of player. He's absolutely massive, has really good athleticism, is always looking to get you down on the ground and making sure you don't get back up. Trey Smith could end up being a starting guard for the Kansas City Chiefs in the future, and that in the 6th round, that's going to get an A from me. because some might be like, oh, this should be an A plus when you consider, like I said, the talent of Trey Smith and where most people thought he should get drafted, but it's going to get an A just because of that possibility that the medicals might not quite check out and something could potentially happen, which would make it a wasted pick in a way. It's only a 6th-round pick, so that's not too much of a gamble. You're not losing too much there, but yeah, I'm giving that pick an A. All right, so that concludes my draft grades for every Kansas City Chiefs selection. Now to give an overall grade for the class, I am going to give it an A- because I like just about every pick. Like I said, going to throw that minus in there with the possibility that some players taken like Trey Smith or Joshua Kaindoh don't work out in a way. But besides that, I have pretty high hopes for all the players taken. If you can get players that can produce for you with, I don't know, how many picks do they have? 6? 4 of your 6 picks? That's a home run. That's a heck of a draft, and the Chiefs probably found 2 day 1 starters in both Nick Bolton and Creed Humphrey, which is a step up from your typical Brett Veach draft. So, yeah, I'm giving this class an A-, and again, I really like this class. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you agree with me, disagree with me, let me know. Let's get a debate going. But with all that being said, make sure you like, share, subscribe so other Chiefs fans can find this, and make sure you check out my work on ShowMeFootball.com and Arrowhead Addict. That's all I got for today. Peace.